Hi, my name is Taus Glickman. I'm a doctoral student at UMass Amherst, and today I'm going to ask a very probing question. Would the Breakfast Club be cyberbullies today? I'm going to be looking at the bullying and victim stereotypes in teen film and television, focused on these 5 iconic cliches. So if we think about traditional bullying, we're often thinking about physical, verbal, and relational. When we get to cyberbullying, we're thinking about issues of communication and information technologies. If we think about, as we go along into what we're looking at, I'm looking at the intersection between where did the screen media from film and TV intersect in the screen issue, based on these kind of 5 common values from the Breakfast Club. The criminal, the nerd, the jock, basket case, and the princess. Now, Rebel Without a Cause is kind of seen as the first film to kind of have this sort of authentic teen film genre, focusing on contemporary set, authentic feel for the teens. I will not be talking about vampires. So what I'm focusing on here is issues of race, class, gender, and sexuality. But because this is historical, there's more of a focus on class and gender, but these things intersect nonetheless. Now, in terms of criminals and nerds, the criminal tends to be the bully, and the nerd the victim, but this can change due to issues of class and gender and sexuality, which we'll see here. So if we look at Rebel Without a Cause, you have a set of camaraderie where you typically would have a bully-victim relationship. They're sharing a similar middle class, as well as confusions over gender, and there's also some coded kind of 1950s homosexuality going on here, so they have a kinship. If we look at something like Welcome to the Dollhouse, we have this mixed gender, kind of weird romantic relationship that tends to happen where the bully and the victim have some sort of romantic twist going on here. And they're typically coded as lower class, which you can see here with Degrassi. So when it's mixed gender, we have this sort of lower class criminal having a romantic relationship with their original intended kind of victim nerd. But when you're dealing with a single gender, there's more of that bully nerd kind of dynamic. So again, the Breakfast Club helps us out here. If it's sort of a mixed gender, we have a sort of weird bully-victim romantic relationship. But when we're dealing with single gender, there's still this issue of the bully-victim issues that can't be resolved as happily. So in terms of jocks, the 80s love images of sort of the bully jock, kind of very prevalent. But if you look and think about issues like class, these kind of break down as well. So when you think about the key I like to talk about is sort of the jock transformation. And this is also seen in the Breakfast Club. Usually coded as middle class, they can then kind of be transformed from a would-be bully into like a nice, happy guy that we can date and have a good time with. Usually coded as sort of middle class. When you're dealing with lower class, working class individuals, you still have this jock transformation, but it's more subtle and kind of takes into account kind of the issues with race and class that go along with this. But then kind of seeing a way that these kind of supposed bullies can kind of be better guys. And basically in 2 hours, they have this great sensitivity transformation. So they're able to kind of escape the whole bullying issue in some ways there. Now, if we take a look at the next batch, which is the princess and the basket case, we're also talking about a transformation, but a lot of this has to do with sort of the gender identity that's going on here. If you look at, to think about these issues with the princess and the basket case, you're going to think about Heather's is an interesting example where you have the princess as the bully, the basket case as a victim, but here in Heather's, the princess bully actually becomes a basket case and kills all the other princesses. We kind of have a bully situation there. Something like Mean Girls is a little bit softer where we don't have to kill all the princesses, but again, we kind of come to terms with these issues of sort of our differences in gender and sexuality. It's kind of a happier take on that whole dichotomy. But again, there's this issue of transformation. Something like Pretty Little Liars is interesting. These girls would normally be considered sort of the princess mean girls, but because there's a meaner girl, they're kind of the basket cases because this girl is so much more of a bully than they are. So they're kind of able to escape that issue there. So basically, when we think about gender, we're talking about this transformation for the princess and the basket case. And again, Breakfast Club is really good at showing us that. So if we want to answer the question, unfortunately, I think the Breakfast Club would be cyberbullies, but they would also be victims too. If you think about, now we're talking about cyberbullying as a screen issue, we also want to think about how screen media affects that as well. Thank you.